welcome to another episode of Volusia Flagler Cares. I'm your host, Kelly Lacombe, with my co-host, Curtis Kirk, partners in K2 Media, but more importantly, we're here to bring you information about nonprofit groups, organizations, fundraisers, and events in Volusia and Flagler counties. Today, every week we have been really lucky. Thank God we are blessed. But this week we have Patti Herbert, who is the executive director of Civitan. Is that correct? Or did I blow it all?
It's okay. They call me a bear. I've been called a bear before, but that's a Cajun name. My name is
pronounced
Herbert.
My last name is Lacombe. And it is definitely Cajun. So when I saw that, I didn't even think of any other way to say it.
Oh, that's so funny. That's okay. I'll answer to anything. And I am currently president of our local nonprofit, Sunset Civitan. Our umbrella is Civitan International in Birmingham, Alabama.
Well, how many groups are in? I guess they're regional.
Well, regionally, we have 54 clubs, and out of the 54 clubs, I'm proud to say we're a small group. That's one reason why I was so thankful that you wanted to allow us the opportunity for exposure, because we're like the best kept secret in the area. Most people have never heard of us, and anyway, they're out of the 54 clubs, we're number 16, so I'm pretty proud of that. We are small but mighty. We have currently 25 active members, and some of those are inclusive, which means they are part of the intellectually disabled community. So it's wonderful because we give them exposure, we give them an opportunity to work and give back, because they've, the majority of consumers that are disabled in this community, they're kind of like catered to, and they receive, but we're teaching them, our club is teaching them to give. That's what God wants us to do, and that's what we're trying to pass on.
Patti, I saw in my research that it shows that you all have 16,000 members internationally. Is that an up-to-date figure?
Yes, that is correct.
Okay, thanks.
And I couldn't tell you how many clubs are internationally. I just know that one of the interesting things, and this is funny because y'all are all male and I'm just the only female here, but the Civitan International was founded in 1917. And it was by a bunch of, you probably already read that, Curtis, I don't know, but all male businessmen. Women were not allowed into the club, which, can you imagine? Because
I couldn't imagine a woman going, "Oh, okay, yeah, we're fine with that."
I'm glad I wasn't around that time, because they would have had a rough time with me.
Yeah.
But it wasn't until 1974 that they even entertained the thought or allowed women in. So, they missed out on a lot of years where we could have been their little worker bees. But anyway, I'm pleased that they allowed us in. Our local chapter was founded in 1983. So we've been around 42 years. That's 42, right? I think so. Yeah. And we actually have one member that has been in since we originated, and he's still going strong. God bless him. He and his wife both, even though she went to my opposing high school, we have a little joke back and forth. But anyway, he has been in since we started. So we have a lot of people that have stuck with us and been with us a long time, but we just are seeking new volunteers, because there's mighty work to be done, but we need a village.
Right. Right. Yeah. Well, speaking of that, trying to get people to join, I'm the lieutenant governor for Kiwanis, so it's Volusia and Flagler counties. So, recruitment, membership increasing. You know, we all got killed during COVID. But you have to have a goal. You have to have, why do I want to join your organization? And, you know, maybe if you could kind of just throw out a little bit, what do you do that would make me want to join?
I'll bring you a membership application.
I hope so.
I would even buy your lunch. I'm kidding. Anyway, we do so many good things for being such a small club, and we really don't, like, there's one club in Jacksonville that has 77 members. So they get thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars in donations.
Right.
So we're little, but we do the best we can. But one of the main reasons that I would say the reason to join our club is we donate to agencies that provide services for persons with disabilities.
Yeah.
And then we also, on a personal level, we have even helped one guy was disabled, and he had a bike, and he had a wreck on his bike, and so he needed, it was like $300 or something.
Transportation.
We gave him that. So, and then there was another girl, young girl, that was going to get evicted. So we helped her with her rent. So we support like ARC, you know,
right.
who ARC is?
Yeah. Right then, there on George Ingram.
And then we give money to Sunrise Community. That's another day program. At Stewart Marchman Act, we give money to HUM, Halifax Urban Ministries. Also, what am I thinking? Oh, one of my favorite things is I just got there. I mean, gosh, I could go on forever. I'd give them all the money that we collect if I could. But Child's Academy, I just went to their graduation. Are you familiar with that? Well, you just were there. What am I saying?
We were there, Patty. That's where we were. And by the way, I wanted to just say that while we were there, one of your members, I can't remember her name, bless her heart, but she got up and gave such an emotionally, I don't even know, but it was the experience of having been one of those pregnant mothers.
That's why I ask her to speak every year, because she is a graduate of their program, and she went from where she was to where she is. She is now a full-time educator. She's a teacher, not at Child's Academy, but at South Daytona Elementary, as well as her husband. And then she has her daughter's a college graduate. It's amazing what that program has done for her. She's a testimony. And so I'm
glad that you give to them. We you know, that's Curtis and I, that's kind of our, one of our little pet projects that we adopted them, and just love going out there and helping them out. In fact, we do a lot in real estate. You know, there's all kinds of really nice stuff, and we'll be driving out there and bringing, you know, cribs and high chairs. And
I saw that one time. I went in there to bring all the. At Christmas time, I gather money from our people in our club, and then some friends of mine that have a little bit of money. Well, you know what I'm saying. Yeah. Anyway, so then I go shopping, and it's so fun, because then I go and get to bring them, and I bring my clients that live with me to show them.
They're disabled too, right?
Oh yes, yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, it just shows them the joy of giving instead of receiving. So anyway, when I went in there, I was like blown away at seeing all those things. There were, I mean, like very expensive things that people had donated. Here I'm bringing in what I thought was a great deal.
Well, and you know,
full of stuff, but
they want new things, but there's some, you know, gently used things. I think we were even talking about, you know, a majority of people down here are the grandparents.
Right.
So the newborn baby comes down and visits, you know, And they have the crib, they have the high chair, they do
Right.
all of that. And when they come back down 3 years later,
Too big.
they don't need any of it.
Right.
So yeah, Curtis and I, we'd say, "Ah, we'll take it," and
Yeah.
bring it on
That's
over.
great.
Yeah,
That's great. Well, I mean, and to hear their testimonies, I think last year was even more gut wrenching. I was like a boohoo bawling baby. I was like, oh my goodness. So then
I was there
told
with
Carrie,
another guy, and the two of us were sitting there, and we're both trying not to have, the lump in your throat. And
Well,
I'm
before
not
the
crying,
event,
they're crying.
they're lining up tissue boxes at each aisle. And I says, what are all those for? They says, you'll see later.
you'll see. That's why. Well, I invited one of our new members. I said, I want everybody in the club to come to this because I want them to see how passionate I am. Anyway, she said, oh my gosh, now I know why, because I told her bring Kleenex. So she came prepared. Well, one of our other things that we donate to that I'm very passionate about is the CIRC. Have you heard of that? Civitan International Research Center.
Is that the one up in the mountains?
I'm sorry, what?
I was just reading about it. It's an internationally recognized research center founded by the Civitan.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes, and there's many scientists there working on cures for Down syndrome and Alzheimer's and Rett syndrome and autism, and that's near and dear to my heart because my one of my clients.
That would be where
autistic.
I'd want to go and look around.
Oh, in Birmingham.
Oh, in laboratories and stuff. That's where I geek out.
Oh.
He does.
Yeah, that's one of our big things that we donate to. So
that's great.
Yeah, we have our main. My desire has always been big, and I'm only a few hands, and there's always even though there's 25 people, there's always just a handful of people that are the ones that do everything. So I have always had big goals. I'm on my 6th year. So would you like to be president, Kelly? I'm recruiting.
Curtis just got, what do they call that?
On the board of directors.
Yeah, for Kiwanis.
For the Kiwanis or club, yeah.
It's one of those deals you couldn't tell your friend no.
Well, you know who nominated me, don't you? He's talking to you there, my partner.
It was almost like, a 1-2 with the president. I nominated, and before anyone had anything, he was put onto the whole slate, and they all got approved, and it was done.
Oh, that's so funny. I mean, I've had 2 people, one that served about, 3-4 months, and I said, oh my gosh, she's going to go down as the best president in history, make me look like nothing. And she just could not hang. She couldn't do it. So she quit in the middle. So here I am. And then I had somebody last year that I was grooming to take over next year. And anyway, she had personal problems and had to quit too. So here I am.
Well, I got extremely lucky, and not only did I finally find a lieutenant governor replacement for myself,
wow,
but I found a young lady who is just so dynamic and just, she is, no grass will grow under this girl's feet. I mean it, girl, she's a lady, but just, for me, she's like really...
Well, that's awesome. I'm looking for that girl too.
And
if anybody hears this podcast,
huh?
I said I'm looking for that girl too. If anybody on this podcast hears and wants to volunteer.
Well, and that's kind of why we're doing this. So you say that you donate money to, and God, I mean the list is just, it seems never ending. How do you get the money to then give it back out?
Well, I have friends. I grew up in this neighborhood.
That's true.
So I do have a lot of business acquaintances, so I do get donations that way. But
Mm-hmm.
our signature, our largest fundraiser that we do actually is our chili cook-off that we had last month. And that it has started out small, and it each year gets better. And
Mm-hmm.
this was our best year yet. So I'm thankful for that. We have a silent auction that we go around the community and get donations from restaurants and
Sure.
and businesses that have items to donate. And then I make up baskets and whatever, and we have a silent auction and we get money for that. And then we also sell tickets to the cook-off, and we also have fundraisers during the year where God bless Chris from McKenna's. He allows people in the nonprofits in the community to come into his restaurant.
Oh.
And on once a month, he allows a nonprofit to come in and do a fundraiser, and he gives 10% of the whole restaurant's receipts to the club. So it's been wonderful. We do that probably 3 times a year.
We just did that last night with the New Smyrna Kiwanis Club at the Crimson House.
Oh, what's that?
It's beautifully done outside garden area.
Oh,
I lived in Key West. It reminds me of Louie's backyard, and it's just like almost like a backyard party place.
wow.
Yeah, it is. It's
Is
cool.
it in New Smyrna?
Yeah. They
Crimson?
it was off of
Orange Street, wasn't it, Kelly? Off of Orange?
Wayne and Orange, I believe.
Okay. I know where
But
Wayne is.
I had never been there, didn't know anything about it. We got there and it was a lot of fun. You know, it's tapas type of food, but again, let us, wait on the tables and do all of that, which they let me do it, which, nightmare. Now, they had fun. I entertained them, but yeah, you don't want to give me your order and expect it all to line up and come back to you.
That's funny.
At one time I used to, but no, those days are done. But it was great. But anyway, let's get back to you and Civitan. I apologize for...
Oh, it's okay. Well, there's a couple other things that we do too that I didn't mention. We have in the past always done a Make 'em Smile, where we had a woman in the club who used to own a florist shop. So that's how we started doing it. And
Nice.
We make up little flower things and arrangements and bring them to people. There's so many people in nursing homes that don't have anybody to visit them and no family, and they don't care or whatever the reason. So we do that. That's really a great thing that we do. And pastor appreciation is another that we do that I feel is a very worthwhile event, because sometimes they go unappreciated. And at Christmas,
so many people go unappreciated.
Yeah.
I know. We do Salvation Army bell ringing, that we do that every year.
So that's you guys.
Yeah. Well, there are other organizations that do it and they get paid, but we do it as a volunteer basis, not to receive anything.
Man, that's
just
tough.
to do that.
Having to get the schedule and somebody calls you, I can't make it.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's well, hey, volunteering is not easy, but and like you say, working with individuals that have handicaps of a lot of different kinds. Curtis and I on Saturday were grilling dogs for the Miracle League.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. They actually, here's how crazy I am. I got the dates wrong. Ended up going the week before But I had a ball cooking hot dogs with the board of realtors.
Oh
So
my
didn't have to
gosh.
go out last weekend and cook it with the Koalas. But so I really got to experience the Miracle League. And oh my God, it's one of those things to where why do you do it? And for being able to see through the bleachers and watch a young kid come into home plate with a smile that just that's why I do it. When you
Right.
see that, you know, there's no value, there's no amount. It's just
Right.
that's what keeps me coming back for more. You know, and especially what do they say? A nation is recognized by how well they treat their most vulnerable.
Oh, amen. Yes. So
And
true.
I do think that, you know, that is part of what we have to do. You know,
Right.
it's like, okay, do we have character or don't we? And
Right.
character means, you know, hey, don't leave a mess. Don't leave
Yeah.
anything
True.
out there and, you know, do what you got to do. So, like you said earlier, it takes a village.
Right.
Yeah.
It does.
So, are there any particular projects that you have coming up that you think would be that people might want to, you know, to help out with?
Well, we actually kind of take the summer off for a couple of reasons. People are in and out of town. Me,
Know
for
that, yeah.
instance, you know, I have 2 vacations planned, so 3 actually. Ooh, I forgot
Good
about
for
that one.
you.
Yeah. So you know, we really kind of lay low in the summer. So in the fall, we'll gear back up our beginning of the year. We'll have our end of the year banquet the beginning of October. Our calendar year ends September 30th, and
Okay.
we'll gear back up in October, and we'll have a planning meeting prior to that to discuss what projects we want to do. I've always wanted to do a golf tournament, and they always strike it down. They feel like it's too much work.
I
But I
can
know,
tell you this:
It is a lot of work.
the
is it?
Daytona Club just celebrated their 50th
Yeah.
annual
Wow.
golf tournament. Uh,
Oh,
yeah, 50 years they've been doing it. But it seems easy when you've been doing it for 50 years because, you know, it's like, okay, you're supposed to do this, you go do that, da da da
right.
da da, and it comes together. Well, it's not as difficult though, I think, as you might find. And I can tell you, if you have that list of friends and people
Yeah.
you know, that's really what the difference is in
Right.
having a successful golf tournament. You know, I mean, if it's at a course, people know the course, they're going to go play. Uh, there's that, but you know, what other fun things, what other different elements can you bring? And sponsorship. Who wants to talk
Right.
to your friends?
Yeah.
Right. Right.
You know, I'm
I
sure there's
hear
a
you.
lot of people who do.
Hmm.
So, but that's how, and we have a John Coburg.
Yeah. He works
Nobody
on
Oh,
it
has a
about
John
all year
Coburg.
round.
Yeah, he just runs it. Man, he
Yeah.
is the bomb. Yeah, that
that's great.
it is. Yeah. So that's it. But I got to tell you, if you're thinking of doing something like that, you know, again, throw out the intention and
Yeah.
hopefully there'll be people that coalesce behind the idea and maybe help you out and do that because
Pull it off.
it's it's a significant amount of money,
Oh, I
significant
know. I
amount of
just
money.
think, oh my gosh, what we could do with, you know, like
What was
that
your
kind of.
net, Kelly? You got the total on this last one on the golf tournament was over 40,000, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's about
Oh,
45.
Yeah, about
But
40. It
but
went up this year, didn't it?
the duck race was 63, I think.
1,000.
No way.
Oh yeah.
What in
That
the
would
world
be
is
a
a duck
good one.
race?
A duck race would be a good one.
What is that?
Oh, we got to send you
Curtis
some
is the
video
expert on
clips.
that.
Yeah, you'll fall over laughing.
So you get sponsors?
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Do you have
Oh
to
yeah.
wear a duck suit?
We
No.
have people that wear that. Well, we got real lucky. The
Yeah.
Tortugas were a big kind of a title co-sponsor, and they allowed us to have their promenade, that where their concession stands are, that whole area there. We were able to do like an expo. So we had, I think, like 25 different nonprofit groups. There was some food trucks. There was, all of the Tortugas people doing their thing.
Yeah.
And then right at the Orange Avenue Bridge, the city blocked it off, had a big dump truck, and they dumped 10,000 ducks into the Halifax River. And, we had people on rafts and boats and stuff to collect, to get the winning ducks.
I'm
But,
surprised that was allowed.
oh, the city is a co-sponsor of it.
Oh, yeah, yeah. They work with us.
But isn't that like polluting the waters or something?
Oh, no.
Well, hey, the 5-second rule, Patty. Come on, don't even bring it up.
Yeah. Yeah.
We had them fished out in no time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, that's
they
hilarious.
disappeared real quick.
But again, what they did was, there's a third-party company that has the software that you contract with. So what we did is we decided that we would give a percentage of money to people that helped us get ducks adopted. So, but they, right, but they have the software that, like, if your group next year, if you want to do it, you go in and only nonprofits. But if you're a nonprofit, you sign up and you will be issued a QR code. You then send that QR code to all of those friends of yours, and they click on it, and it takes them right to where they can adopt a duck, 25 ducks, 50 ducks. And so, but Civitan gets 40% back cash. Think about it. It's $5,
Of the
and
duck
of
sales.
that, Civitan gets $2. You can't do a golf. You can't put on an event and net
make that
40% without doing anything. I've been looking at some of the different, the tenets of what Civitan is and what are the principles of it, and that's pretty heavy duty.
Yeah, our creed is beyond. It's just really, if the world would focus on those key points that we have in our creed, then
would
the
you
world
care
would
to
be a
share
better
those
place.
with us?
I would love to. Okay. I should have memorized this in all these years, but somehow I haven't. It might require eyes.
Yeah, we're all getting at that younger age.
Hey, speak for yourself. Okay. I am Civitan, as old as life, as young as the rainbow, as endless as time. My hands do the work of the world and reaches out in service to others. My ears hear the cry of children, and the call throughout the world for peace, guidance, progress, and community. My eyes search for others to join in the fellowship and service of Civitan. My mouth utters the call to daily duty and speaks prayers in every tongue. My mind teaches me respect for law and the flag of my country. My heart beats for every friend, bleeds for every injury to humanity, and throbs with joy at every triumph of truth. My soul knows no fear but its own unworthiness. My hope is for better world through Civitan. My motto is builders of good citizenship. My belief, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. My pledge, to practice the golden rule and to build upon it a better and nobler citizenship.
Man.
Whew.
Yeah.
I made it.
That really is wonderful. Very special.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
All the way around, what you do, how you do it, and then how you're trying to not just react to what's happening today in the community, but grow and bring others along for the future. And speaking of that, again, as we were doing our research, came across a junior Civitan club. Is there not one of those? Or
oh, yes. Well, we actually have had, one of the things that, if I back up a little bit, that Civitan International does is they give scholarships to high school students that are exemplary, and one of my best friends in high school, she got the scholarship to go to FSU, and so I'm really proud to share that. But also, she was a Civitan that we in junior Civitan at our high school at Mainland, and so yeah, so throughout the years we've had junior Civitan clubs in the area. They didn't work out, and so then of course, when I joined, I was like, oh my goodness, my alma mater better step up. So I did manage to establish a club. However, unless you have a good sponsor, which would be a teacher, the club just can't work because we're not there on the grounds all day. So we just didn't get a lot of cooperation. So we had to dissolve the club. So it was always my desire to have one at my school, but it just didn't work out. So not to say that somewhere in the future we wouldn't readdress it, because there are junior clubs all throughout the world, and they do give. International does give scholarships.
Well, and so many of those kids, it's just through the volunteering, being in the meetings. Last week, I was talking with Tommy Mills, who's going to be our, incoming governor. And that's exactly what we were talking about. We have to do that. Anyway,
right. Well, you're teaching young individuals, which they also have junior Civitans at the college level as well. But it's teaching them service to others instead of always what's in it for me, what's in it for me. It's about learning
ours
to give
and the
back.
Kiwanis is called as service leadership programs, SLPs, and key clubs across the world. That's all Kiwanis, terrific kids, builders clubs, huge involvement. But do you work with other organizations like that, or is it that, or how do you?
You mean does Civitan, or do I personally, or well, we do work with Special Olympics, for instance, in service to them. Is that the type?
Well, no, I was just thinking that many of the missions are so similar, and so many of the actions are so similar that sometimes it might be better to join forces than to just try to keep, have two programs that are, not quite what they should be, instead of one that's like a super program. And a for instance would be the Kiwanis Reads that we do for summer programs. And I was looking, and that there's all kinds of things that you guys do. So just wondering, where not saying it's just with Kiwanis, but, you know, how might there be ways of building alliances besides being in Hum, where it might be of benefit, whether it's for membership recruitment or whether it's for just enough bodies, you know, to handle an event, or, you
Oh,
know,
that's so
yeah, you
true.
know, or, you
That's
know,
so
okay,
true.
can these people cook? Can these people do this? Because so many of the programs and the things that we do are not just onesies, twosies. You know, it's the Miracle League. You know, we're cooking 200 hot dogs. It's substantial.
We do have, like, for instance, at our chili cook-off, several of the volunteers to cook. It's
Oh,
kind of
nice.
a contest too, to see who has the best chili. And I was glad that this year I didn't win, because one of our new volunteers to bring chili, he won by 1 point. I was like, I wouldn't have told him. I would have given it to him anyway, just because he was so
Yeah,
gracious
really.
to cook
That's
for us. So
important.
I don't care about winning. But I also wanted to recruit him because
Well,
he's a go-getter. So I thought, gee, he said, I don't have time to go to, and this is something I found. I don't know if if you feel the same way, but I'm finding that people don't want to go to meetings. They want to be involved in projects.
yeah.
They want to do the events. They don't really want to
Well,
go, and just, people
see,
don't have time for
there's
meetings.
two schools of thought from just what I have observed and acknowledged through the years. Uh, there are service organizations, there are social service organizations, and then there are social organizations.
Yeah,
And I think each club
right.
or each organization kind of has to, you know, pick their identity, um, and you know, and stick to that. But, you know, again, you also want to be able to adapt to whatever your community is, or the, you know, the needs and wishes that you can make the most difference within the
Mm-hmm.
community. But as far,
Yeah, we clearly um, advocate for being a service club. Really, that's
right.
really what we are all about, is being of service to our community. So I just wish we had more members and more
Okay, well,
money
I
to
gotta
give
say
away.
this, and Patty,
That
we're gonna do you right. Right now, we have the where to join link is on there, and that is the civitan.org/member-center, which I guess is the main link. And then we have, if somebody wants to get in touch or get some contact, I have your Facebook page. This way they can kind of find out and get directly in touch with you without having to go, you know, into Civitan International, or is that a better way?
Well, let me say this, that probably not the civitan.org website, because
Mm-hmm.
that's international, and a local chapter. So when people join, they typically join, like I provide, they either contact me, and then I in turn get them the
Okay.
application, and sit down and meet with them and find out what their desire for
Okay. So
participation is.
we'll have that
And
for everybody, and they'll be able to click on it right from watching it at their leisure. And I just want to say that Patty, you know, went through a couple of, you know, miscues and whatever, but I am so glad that we had the opportunity to have you on the show and to, you know, let you explain what it is that you do to, you know, people that just they need to know. And let's hope that there are people that were
well,
watching this who go, you know what, I want to join. I want to help in my community. So we'll have that info.
Well, there are so many people that want to help and want to serve. They just don't know where to go
Right.
or who needs the help. And we definitely are in
And
the
you
we
have
need help stage.
we can send you right here. Oh, you know, that's one of the
I just,
things that we struggled with, which is you get new members and, you know, they come to meetings, but they're not at projects, which is that's where you find that, you know, where you get the lump in your throat, where you learn why it is
right,
that you're there and doing it.
right,
So,
right. That's more of a like
right.
social club.
But,
Yeah,
well,
I
Patti,
don't need, yeah,
I am so glad that I found you at the Child's Academy graduation.
I
And,
know.
you know, if you need help, if there's anything coming up, please reach out to us and we'll try to get the word out to everybody. And everybody watching, this is a great organization for about, you know, 5 different reasons. But most importantly is that
Thank you.
it's about honor, it's about respect, and we need to have a little bit more of that in what we do and how we treat everybody that's in our village. So, thank you. Yes, thank you for
Amen.
watching. We really appreciate that. I keep saying it, and I suppose it's supposed to happen that Kathy Blackman and Sophie's Choice will be on next week, and we'll be showing you some dogs that'll be up for adoption. Everybody, listen, thank you so much. Be nice to each other. Have a wonderful day. Bye bye.
Thank you so much for the opportunity, Kelly.
Thank
I
you for being
appreciate
here,
it. Thank you,
Patti.
Curtis.
Yeah.
Thank you.